And we're back. Breeze Nation was good. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. How you guys feeling today? Looks like we're moving a little bit better. Just I don't want to put a bad product out to y'all, man.
That's right. No,
I don't want to put a bad product out there. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Don't want to mess it and mess up y'all viewing experience to start the morning. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always. Like I said, you know what I mean? Let's get back into this conversation. Here, Jordan JC is Dan Campbell guaranteeing a win over the Chicago Bears, basically saying that this is a game that they have to win, of course, because of how they started out, but also because they understand what this win means. They understand what this game means. And while, yes, Ben Johnson is a very valued friend to Dan Campbell, he realizes that this is one that I got to take your soul on. And I like the mindset from Dan Campbell. I believe the line right now is 5.5 after everything that we saw the Bears do. But listen, I think that this is going to be a little bit tougher game here, because now everyone understands what it's going to take to play in a Ben Johnson offense. Now, am I going to sit here and guarantee a Bears win? I'm not going that far. I'm not going back the other direction with Dan Campbell here.
Yeah.
And I understand why Dan Campbell is saying that this is a must-win situation, but I think the guarantee is a little strong. I think the guarantee is maybe overlooking some of the things that the Chicago Bears are doing to improve from week to week. And I know people are losing their minds. I know the sky is falling in Chicago right now. I know there's a lot of people right now
crying
that are ready to, you know, why did we should have never started him? Why did we even? Well, it's the first game of his second year with a new head coach and all of that. So there's a lot going into that.
Yeah.
But when you talk about going out and guaranteeing a win, I'll bet you right now Ben Johnson is using some of that. Ben Johnson is telling this team right now, they've already said they got it. Dan believes he's got it. His exact quote, we're going in, getting ready to play Chicago. We're going to win this game. We have to.
Yeah.
That's a head coach that's confident that he has a leg up. You don't go in, now Dan Campbell maybe is a little different, right? I will say this as well. I'm not doing this to paint Dan Campbell in a bad light or anything. Dan Campbell is a little bit different. Dan Campbell's the guy that's like, yeah, we'll go in there and we'll beat the championship Tom Brady Patriots. Like, he is that guy as well.
Yeah, a little off.
Maybe more than a little. He's taking a few hits in his day.
All right.
He's taking a few hits.
I was being nice.
But it is there is a confidence in your team that is on a different level.
Sure.
When you can say, we are going to win this game, we have to. Your thoughts on the guarantee? I wish I had Charles Barkley on here, although we might get flagged for a guarantee.
Oh, it's terrible. No, look, if Ben Johnson wants to use that as bulletin board material to hype up the Bears, first of all, I don't think you need anything at all to hype yourself up for a game like this. As you mentioned before, we're going into the Lions Den. You need to be ready to go from the first whistle. In the last, I want to say 30 years or more, since 1990, there's a stat that says that clubs that start 1-1 have made the playoffs 41.6% of the time. The club that loses will have a steep hill to climb. They make the postseason at a rate of 12.2%.
Yeah.
So you're already behind the 8 ball if you lose this game, especially in the division. You're 0-2 to start. That's really bad for both of these teams. That's how it could be.
And 0-2 in the division. Whoever loses this
you're behind.
Is the back of the barrel.
Oh, my goodness. So my thing is, Ben Johnson should actually be having the same approach. Now, I'm not expecting him to say, we're going to win as well, but that should be the quiet mentality of this team too. You're going to have to see what kind of adjustments, Ben Johnson makes. He kind of sees exactly what it is that probably the team has to do. Like you mentioned, he's starting to see, okay, well, who do I need to hold accountable? Who's going to be my dogs? Who's going to be aggressive? Who are my winners, as we talked about before? And so going into this game, hey, nobody's going to feel sorry for the Bears, as he mentioned. We have to go in and execute. And so it's the same on his end. I have no problem with the things that Dan Campbell said. They have to win as well. That's a horrible showing that they had against Green Bay. Just like our blunder in the fourth quarter. It was a horrible showing. They got completely taken advantage of. That late score to make it look respectable was just kind of a gimme score from Green Bay. I mean, it was they were eviscerated that entire game. And so for me, I feel like that's not something that I'm surprised by. Dan Campbell is a very confident coach. You have a Detroit team that was very, very good the last 3 years and is trying to build off of that success, who should have went further in the playoffs, if we're being honest, based off of their roster. But because it was so injury riddled on one end of on the defensive side, that was part of the reason why they didn't go far, and they got beat by the Washington Commanders. And so sure, have all the confidence in the world, but on our end, we need to be that confident as well. Maybe a quieter confidence, but we need to go in and execute as well.
Let me ask you this. What Lions do you think is the real Lions? Because there's a lot of people talking with Yurko yesterday. His belief is that, listen, if there's a team that's going to bounce back from a week 1 loss, it's the Lions. If there's a team that's going to bounce back from a week 1 loss, it's going to be the Lions. It's not going to be the Bears. I don't know, based off of what we saw from that team, what is going to be so different this week in Mr. Morton's offense.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Going into this week, I don't know if y'all remember that Schoolhouse Rock. This is the tale of Mr. Morton.
No, I don't know that one.
No, okay, don't worry about it. That's like, hey, I saw you send me that video. I didn't watch it.
Come on.
I didn't watch it. No, I don't know if this is kind of the situation that the Lions do bounce back and become a entirely different team and become an entirely different offense from week 1 to week 2. The thing about the offense was still running a lot of similar plays. It just looked slower. The offense was getting in at a much slower pace. They weren't getting to the huddle as quickly. Like, there were just these subtle differences where it was like, while I'm not going to say that I don't think that it can't get on track, it didn't look like a team that's been in this similar offense for 3 years.
Yeah.
It looked like a team that was moving very, very like, okay, this is new. We don't know what we're doing. We got to figure this out. New play caller, like, which Lions team is for real? Is it the one that's probably going to bounce back, I think, and look a little bit better? I do think the Lions look better this week. It's week 2 of the NFL season, guys. Like, people are going to get better as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be the Lions that we saw in week 1? And a Jared Goff that, listen, Kevin Byers said it yesterday. They just forced him to go to his check down just about every play. They didn't allow him to get to some of those deep routes because of disguise coverages and pressure in his face.
Well, whatever you do, I would say go back to the tape of week 1 versus Green Bay and implement that. Imitate what they did. If you're okay with that. That, like, last week they averaged 3.8 yards per play against Green Bay. Like, try to stick to that. One of the things that I think will improve that you possibly can't stop, or I won't say can't stop, but you'll probably have a harder time stopping, is the run game. I think that was one of the things that probably kind of staggered out of the gate was Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery didn't look as good as a tandem as they usually do. And so I do expect for them to be a little bit better this week on the ground, but that's where, you have to, again, game plan for that. Get your guys in the interior to start pressuring those guys. We looked really good against the run initially, in the first 3 quarters. And so commit to that. Hopefully we get some good news. I know we're going to be talking about the injury report coming up here. Hopefully we get some good news on our DBs and our linebackers, because, that could be part of the answer when trying to, make Jared Goff go to his checkdowns again.
Yeah.
Clamping up those receivers, locking down the receivers, locking down those routes. So there's ways to make them look the same. I think you may have a defense that could be on par with Green Bay's. Green Bay has a really nasty defense. I'll admit that. Those guys are hungry. The way they look, because I watched the game in week 1 of Green Bay versus Detroit. They looked aggressive. They looked very fast, even with 40% of Micah Parsons out there. I don't even think it was 40% of the snaps. They looked very, very dangerous. And so try to imitate that same game plan. Of course, I think Detroit will look better because Jared Goff looked a little bit off. He looked inefficient at times. And so I think they will kind of get back on board to a degree, but it's not the same type of offense led by Ben Johnson, obviously. There are things that are kind of off with the details. And so there's chances for you to take advantage of these Lions, and you just have to, again, be on your details on defense.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening here. I think that this is going to be one where, the Bears are good. They're going to be much. I don't even know if I can say they were unprepared. I don't think we were unprepared. I think we were very prepared for this game. I think that it just got away from them.
Defense got tired.
Offense got bad. Like that, I didn't come out of this game and go, Ben Johnson didn't have these guys expecting what they saw. Like, I felt very much like, no, they knew exactly what was coming. It just didn't matter.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be an interesting situation this week as the Chicago Bears hopefully can go out there and find a way to get a win in a tough situation in Ford Field. You're now going to have to go to the silent count as well. We'll talk about our keys to a Bears win. Keys to a Bears victory on a Thursday with Jordan JC. Always a fun time. We got keys back in the building, baby. I got the keys. I got the keys. First, we got to talk about possibly a little bit of an uphill battle the Bears are going to face. But first, we want to get into a word from our sponsors over at DraftKings, Aura, and y'all know we got to talk about that merch, baby. Breeze Nation, we got to take a quick break in the action to update you on what DraftKings has for us here at the Windy City Breeze. Another thank you to DraftKings for being a partner of today's episode. And it's another huge weekend for football fans. And DraftKings Sportsbook is the place to keep that action going right now. Here's the new deal. New customers can bet $5, get $200 instantly in bonus bets. That's right. Bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Just make sure you sign up using my promo code Windy City or click the link in the description below or in the pinned comment. Again, that's promo code Windy City when you sign up, because they're making it so easy at DraftKings Sportsbook to get in on the action. Use your bonus bets on same game parlays for a shot at even bigger payouts, or jump into live betting as the game unfolds. And if sports betting isn't available in your state yet, do not worry. You can still join DraftKings Daily Fantasy Sports. So don't forget, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back instantly in bonus bets. Sign up today with the promo code Windy City. And again, big thank you to DraftKings for being a partner of today's episode. Now let's get back into the show. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Ladies and gentlemen, we got merch. That's right. New website, new merch, all out. We've been telling you guys to pull up on us. Now you can at twcbreeze.com, where you can find out all of the latest stuff going on. What all can they find there, Super Producer?
Listen, you can join the nation, sign up to our mailing list, and be up to date for events and news. You can also visit the shop page and order merch, because we have t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got mugs, we got hats, we got all kind of stuff. So, hey, we appreciate you being tuned in with us. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us on all our socials. Check us out at twcbreeze.com.
He's way too excited.
I am.
Welcome back. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Hey, Jordan JC, we are. Oh, yeah. 175.
All right. Good morning, people.
Only 32 likes on the video. Hit that thumbs up, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page.
Come on now.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Just talked about Dan Campbell guaranteeing a win. Guarantee.
Man, better back them words up.
Now we got to talk about why he may have a little bit of an easier time. Now, we got the injury report late last night, which, by the way, is just asinine. Why are we dropping estimation injury reports at 7:00 at night? I wasn't doing news on it. I saw that mug come across. I put my phone down. King Booker World said, JC, I don't like that. Nobody's feeling that, dog. Nobody.
Oh, you all are gonna get used to it.
Nobody's feeling it. We may just tell you just go back to not doing nothing. Don't worry about it. This feels like you feel like you're supposed to be in a trench coat behind a light post waiting for waiting to grab somebody, bro. It feels uncomfortable, man.
Now that you say it like that, geez. All right.
It's weird that you found something weirder than the pumps. Like, the pumps were already weird, and we were just kind of like, okay, all right.
That's why I thought you'll get used to it. If you found the pumps weird, you'll embrace the sachet a little bit.
The sachet is crazy, especially after the article. But nah, man.
Whatever.
The Bears may have a little bit more of an uphill battle this coming week as things do not get easier with the injury report dropping here. New names on the list that are a little bit concerning here. Now, again, this is just an estimation on a Wednesday. This is not exactly what will or will not happen. This could all change today as, they actually get out there and do a real practice.
Right.
But Kyler Gordon, they estimate, would have been a DNP today with that hamstring, yesterday with that hamstring, which tells you that there is some tightness still there. There's some tenderness still there. Grady Jarrett would have been a DNP with a knee injury. This is a new name to the injury report. Grady Jarrett has been fairly healthy throughout camp and all of that, and so seeing him get on the report is a little bit concerning there. Although, remember, he didn't play much he didn't play any in the preseason, so this could just be some wear and tear after that first game. TJ Edwards would have been limited, Blackwell limited, Roshan limited, Jade Walker limited, another new name on that list. Don't remember Jade getting banged up there, but it was good to see that they believe that DJ Moore would have been a full go and Jalen Johnson would have been a full go on that list as well. So a little bit of positive, a little bit of negative there, Jordan JC. when you see that, is there any concern from you on the? To me, the biggest name on there that the Grady Jarrett front.
Yeah.
I mean, the run defense, like you said, it looked pretty good until we got into that fourth quarter, and it seemed like the defense was just fully gassed. But you could tell the impact that Grady Jarrett, and we haven't sung his praises enough this week. Adayo Odangbo,
was
able to bring to that defensive line.
He showed up. Yeah. No, I'm looking at this list, and it's just Wednesday, right? And so I will not be, overly anxious about what's happening right now. But I mean, there are a few names, obviously, especially with Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson not playing in week 1, and TJ Edwards. Those are names that I want to see, hopefully, at full go by the end of the week. Obviously, those are 3 starters that are very impactful that will possibly, shift the game in our direction.
It says shift, right?
SHIFT. We haven't done that in a minute. Okay, yes, shift.
I got nervous.
For a win. So, yes, outside of that, of course, Grady Jarrett, the old vet, we want to make sure that he's not really banged up. Maybe there's just some monitoring the knee and things of that nature, and he's just taking it easy. A vet is going to be a vet. So I think he may, get himself ready and does what he has to do to get ready for Sunday, but we will see. But again, I'm not really overly alarmed as of right now because it's still the middle of the week. So
yeah. Well, I mean, listen, it's Thursday. You got a short week. You got less time to work. I think, again, I'm not overly concerned until today, right? If we see that DNP come out today, then it's gonna be like, all right, hold on now. This is a little bit off-putting here. But excuse me, the Kyler Gordon part of this, I think, is one truly to keep an eye on. Listen, we knew, and I've talked about this a couple of times, right? Jason McKee talked about when Lovie Smith came in, how guys dealt with a ton of small soft tissue injuries. Look at everything that's on this list here. Josh Blackwell, groin. TJ Edwards, hamstring. Kyler Gordon, hamstring. Grady Jarrett need a little bit concerning there. Jalen Johnson dealt with that groin as well. The work that guys are having to put in, the work that you're having to put on display to be a part of this Ben Johnson offense or Dennis Allen defense is on a different level, and you're being asked to do maybe more than you've been asked to do in the past. And our defensive coordinator being Flus, that's not surprising. Yeah, I mean, it was a good defense, but until a good quarterback came in. So,
he didn't drive you that hard. Yeah.
To me, this is to be expected early in the season. But as you have a big matchup coming up here versus the Detroit Lions, I do think, and you've got Dan Campbell guaranteeing wins. They're not a team that I feel like you can go in banged up and walk out of there with the victory. I did feel like that versus the Minnesota Vikings because you had a rookie quarterback whose head was spinning. His eyes were all over the place. He was trying to figure, what the heck? Who's the what? And then the when and the how. And then as things started to slow down for him throughout the game, and he started to get more comfortable because you started to die a little bit on the inside, he was able to start to pick you apart. Jared Goff could just pick you apart. No matter what, whether we feel Morton's offense is not going to be enough to go out there and get the job done, you don't have Grady Jarrett bringing that pressure up the middle without the Hall of Fame center in there that seemed like it made more of a difference than people wanted to admit in the chat to Unber. The pressure up the middle was in Jared Goff's face all day. That's how you get him to get to that check down quick and you rally on the tackles. Having TJ Edwards back would be massive in that because it's something that we haven't talked about a ton, but Tremaine Edmonds is no longer the middle linebacker. Noah Sewell was in there making those calls, making those checks, playing middle linebacker. That means that you're going to have TJ Edwards over the middle on that running back, or you're going to have Tremaine Edmonds, getting to the outside on the tight end. There's a little bit of a difference there. And having TJ Edwards back, you just know there's not going to be that drop off.
Yeah.
Noah Sewell did his best. And then it became a point where it was just, there was a limit to what he was. It's the first time. It's not the first time he's played, but it's got to be the first time he's ever been given that much responsibility.
Major minutes. Yeah, major minutes because he's been healthy now. And so, he's taking on more of a role. You let go of Jack Sanborn. So now it's you and Hippolyte, trying to vie for that third spot. And with Edwards out, you have the ability to kind of showcase what you can do, and there's going to be more snaps and more reps for you on that field. So yeah, I think that is an important point.
Yeah, so we'll see what ends up happening there. I think the other one that's a big one, and you're going to have to address it. Ben Johnson talked about it yesterday. He said he needs to do a better job with it, but the Roschon Johnson of this whole thing, I want Roschon. I want him to be good. You can't stay on the field.
Seems like he's in limbo on this team now. It's like you hear his name and he's just never out there. He's never available.
It don't sound like he's the backup running back.
Nope. It
literally sounds like, and maybe it's just because Roschon is still banged up, but it sounds like when Ben Johnson talks about a Kyle Monangai, sure sounds like he's talking about Kyle Monangai as the consistent backup running back, and Roschon Johnson's just kind of on the team.
Yeah.
You got to figure out this running back position. And Ben Johnson said, it's on me. I got to call more runs. I believe there were only 19 called runs in the whole game. There were 20 called runs. 3 of those were for DJ Moore, none for Kyle Monangai. And he said that was on him as well. Kyle got involved with like that third down check down early in the game, but we really didn't see him do too much. Had a couple of nice blocks as well. I thought both him and DeAndre Swift did a pretty good job picking up guys in the backfield and trying to, give Caleb that little bit of extra time. But that running back position is going to be one, especially versus a Lions team. And for this offense to work, that you have to figure out this season. Yurko said it was more on the offensive line when talking to him. He was... He literally was like, was Jonah Jackson just Nate Davis in a different jersey? And I was like, well, Yurko. Well, he couldn't have been Nate Davis because he was out there. He did look bad, though. Rewatching the tape yesterday, I'm a little concerned. I don't know if he's a right guard. Now, his first game of the season, we'll see how things progress throughout the year, but
that was his wheelhouse in Detroit, though, right? When he was still...
No, he was left guard. When he went to the Pro Bowl, he was a left guard.
You're not taking that away from Joe Thuney, so you can forget about that.
Yeah.
Forget about that. You got to figure it out.
There was a couple plays where he was just like...
You have to figure it out or give Ozzy a try at it. Right? Jesus, no, but we will see.
Raging said Jonah got swimmed all game and was just as bad in the run game. Yeah, but he was getting blown up. He was getting blown off the spot consistently. Hopefully we see a little bit more on that, though, from this season. And then, the good news from this, DJ Moore was down after the game. I don't know if y'all saw that picture on social media where he was kind of laying on the ground holding that abdomen area after taking that big shot over the middle.
Huge shot.
I mean, man. Caleb stood in there, delivered the football. He got lit up. DJ got lit up. A couple of medicine balls from Caleb. Let's cut those down. Couple of medicine balls from Caleb in his game. The one he threw to Rome on the at the sticks. Man, I was just like, Jesus, bro. Like, why would you give him that ball? Yeah. But yeah, DJ Moore was listed that he would have been a full, and then Jalen Johnson being a full, and I think that's going to make a massive difference, especially knowing the receivers that you're going to be going up against here. Week 1 felt like you were good enough to go out there and win that game, but when it came down to the crunch time moments, having the backups in there kind of got the best of you. It feels like you may have some of those big dogs back out there.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Jalen kind of taking over that mano-a-mano wide receiver 1, CB1 role again, and Nahshon Wright, who he recovered, I should say, in his game because he was not looking good. He was getting beat in the beginning, and then that pick 6 kind of saved his game overall. But you don't want him being the number 1 guy, and then Tariq Stevenson being your number 2. I think it'll level itself out and balance itself out if you can get him, and like I said, possibly Kyler Gordon with a hammy. We don't know yet. Getting back on the field for this pivotal game.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening here, but let's finish it out with this, Jordan JC, because, and if you have not done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Appreciate you guys for showing love as always, man, and rocking with us here this morning. It's a Thursday, which means we got keys. We got to give our 3 keys. to a Chicago Bears victory.
Let's get it.
Over the Detroit Lions. I love me some keys.
I got keys.
Car
What?
keys.
Yep.
Let's start it off here, Jordan JC. Key number 3 for you on the list. What is your third key on the list for the Chicago Bears to get a win over the Detroit Lions?
Well, I mean, honestly, you mentioned it at the very tail end of our last segment. The running backs. I really need to see a more balanced attack, not just relying on it. And I love the amount of reps or carries rather that I should say that not DJ Moore had. I don't want DJ Moore running the ball anymore. I mean, DeAndre Swift had 17 carries for 53. Wasn't a good running output from him, but I did like
good third quarter.
Good third quarter. And that was about it. But my thing is, we mentioned the name. You said Cal Monunga. I need to see him out there more because obviously DJ Moore is DeAndre Swift is someone who can, get to the outside and is better in the open space. We've known that since Kingdom Come. Stop using him to try and cut through the holes and have the vision to find lanes and power through that first line of defense. Most times it's not going to happen. You saw him get stuffed and just completely stopped as the game went along, as the game progressed. Cal Monunga, that's what he does, or at least that's his reputation coming out of college, is that he can push the pile. He can get yards after the first contact. Yeah. He can bulldoze his way to getting first downs. Like, that's your guy. So that's the tandem I want to start seeing. And I was a little surprised that Ben Johnson didn't go to that a little earlier in his game plan, but hopefully he learned his lesson. I'm not sitting here and saying we got the next coming of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, but if we can get some sort of DeAndre Swift, poor man's Ashton Genty, duo, I'll take that. But we need to see more out of the run game.
Listen, I'm with you, but it starts with the guys up front for me. I don't care about any of these running backs and don't believe that they make that big of an impact. Especially if you open up the holes. We saw one play.
Yeah.
We saw one play in that entire Minnesota game where the offensive line dug in, moved the guys in front of them, and allowed the running back to go out there and DeAndre Swift and make a play. And it was a gain of 7. Outside of that, you didn't see enough push from the big boys up front. Drew Dolman, where you at? Bad game. Mm-hmm. Jonah Jackson, where you at? Bad game. It's crazy that I'm not talking about Braxton Jones because Braxton Jones was like, bet, I need to move this dude in front of me. Get up out my way. You got to be able to push the dogs up front. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, guess what? Everybody was like, what a run here by DeAndre Swift. Then they show you the replay. He don't get touched for the first 4.5 yards of it. You wonder why Saquon can run for 2,000 yards? That.
Hello.
Don't give a rat's. You know what about the freaking running back? And guess what? If you throw Kyle Monunga behind there, same thing. That's it. I need to see the guys up front be better.
Yeah.
And that was a bad start. Let's build on it from there. I'm sure Dan Richard probably right now has his foot so far up that they tasting shoelaces.
Yeah. Turn that sun sideways.
It's sticking where the sun don't shine.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, the offensive line definitely has to play a little bit better, or a lot better, I should say. I griped on the twins, as I called them in our previous recording.
The twins is hilarious.
I mean, hey, they're not doing such of a good job as I thought. Darnell Wright has been inconsistent. Jonah Jackson, as you mentioned, he's been subpar. He kind of got taken advantage of throughout the entire game, and so we need to definitely see some improvement from there. They are better than the line we had the previous years. I will give them that, but there still needs to be some improvement. So
yeah, listen, was it better than last year? Sure. I mean, it's being alive better than being dead. Like, yeah, like it's kind of how I gauge that. Like, is having a pulse better than not? Yes. Like there was a pulse on the offensive line.
Instead of 4 sacks by Caleb, you got sacked twice.
4. Listen, he got sacked twice, and both of them were on him. I can live with that. Like,
well, that's true.
I can live with that. There's gonna be sacks. Like you're never gonna play sack-free football.
No, one was not. No, one was clearly on Dahlman because there was a guy that came straight up the middle, free. Right? He had no time to react. I believe. They took a snap and then some guy went. I can't remember. It might have been.
I don't remember what they're calling the second sack. There's only one. Yeah, there's only one where he went down. The second one, I think, is him just like it can't be the grounding because that's a penalty. Maybe when he stepped out of bounds, they call that a sack. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Loss of yards. Okay. All right.
But what's your second key to a Chicago Bears victory, Jordan JC?
Moving on to my second key. You actually mentioned the offensive line. I'm going on the other side of the trenches. I'm going to the defensive line, and I'm going in particular. I'm not going to gripe on the entire defensive line. I am going to gripe on one particular person. Montez Sweat, where are you? You had 2 tackles the entire game. Neither was impactful. You have not been impactful for maybe, in my opinion, a year now. I understand you were hurt. I understand you've been playing through your pain and your injuries. That is noble of you, sir. You are fully healthy now. I expect more from supposedly our best edge rusher on the team because now you have better players playing alongside of you that are taking the attention more off you, and you now can have one-on-one battles with your man more so than not. And so I need to see way more pressure. I need to see you get to that quarterback. I know there was one maybe pass deflection. I know he had a pass deflection.
He had the pass deflection.
And he blocked. Yeah, whoop-de-doo. I'd rather get a sack.
Could have picked that off too, actually.
Could have picked it off, but I'd rather see you getting sacks. Like, that's what we pay you for. But that's where the big bucks come in. You have not done that since we signed you, and you had the 6.5 with Washington and the 6.5 here. So you got to up your production, up your aggressiveness, up whatever you got to up, because I'm not seeing you. And I feel like Montez Sweat is going to start being an afterthought if he doesn't produce the way we want him to.
Only thing, and I know this is wild to say, but the only thing I'll say is I don't think that they're there to get sacks. I believe that in Dennis Allen's defense, it is very much exactly what we saw. Set the edge, contain the run game, let that pressure up the middle, lead a sack your way. I'm not saying I don't want him to get sacks, but like I literally, like when you watch this defense, it truly is just about that pressure up the middle. It truly is just about that pressure up the middle for Dennis Allen. Make sure that somebody's getting pressure up the middle, which is why my second key to this game is Javon Dexter. Got to stay consistent. You have moments. You have flashes on the field. But there is not a consistent impact felt from Javon Dexter when talking about that defensive line. And that's just, it makes it tough to see you as one of the main future pieces. Because it's very much what we saw last season. There are games where, and I'm not saying Javon played bad, but are you going to pay the big bucks for a guy that's like, hey, that was a flash, that was a good piece, that was a good play. And then I don't see you get pressure on the quarterback for the next 5 snaps. And then you get in the face of J.J. McCarthy again, oh, that was a solid play. And then I don't see you get pressure on the quarterback for the next quarter. I need to see a little bit more out of Javon. I know he has it in him. It seems like he's starting to understand. It seems like he's starting to put it together. It just has to be play in and play out.
Yeah.
That's where you become the Grady Jarrett kind of guy.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That's where you become the Jalen Carters. That's where you become those dominant players that are always somebody that the quarterback has to fear in the interior. I think Javon is somebody that they have to pay attention to. I don't think he's become somebody that they have to fear.
Ooh, yeah, that they have to game plan for. Like
he's somebody you got to pay attention to. He's too good to not pay attention to him.
Yeah.
But he hasn't become that player where it's like, I'm sitting here looking over the defense and my eyes keep coming back to you. Because you sitting there looking at me.
Looking at you, looking at me, looking at you.
You know what I mean? That's my second key. Javon Dexter, give me a little bit more consistency on that. Being Jared Goff's face all day, and we'll win this game. We'll win this game.
I totally agree with you. I mean, you know, you look around the league. You know, you mentioned some of those names. You know, Chris Jones is the Don D. Matabike,
Yeah,
the Quentin Williams, like those
I'm in fear
names.
of my
Those
life.
Yes, yes. You game plan for those guys. You make sure that you keep an eye on those guys. You do want to kind of see that, you know, it's kind of put up or shut up time for Javon, because like you mentioned, now this is year 3 and he needs to put it all together. It's time for him to not be just, you know, ghosting every now and then. You got a sack, I believe, in the first game, but we
They get a
need to
sack.
see
Yeah.
more of a production. You could have got 2. You know, then let's go for 2. So yeah, I want to see more of Javon up the middle. So you have a chance to do that. Frank Ragnow is retired, so maybe that interior pressure could be greater this week, you know, going up against the Lions. So
This should
we'll
be a
see.
big day. This should be a big day. What's your number one key, Jordan JC?
Oh boy, my last and most important key for me to a Bears win is Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, you need to call a better overall game. And I think he took accountability, which is what I love. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he looked like a deer in the headlights for the entire game, because for 3 quarters, they played very, very good football.
Dang good football.
Dang good football, especially on defense. I think Dennis Allen did a really good job. I think on offense, it was more to be desired. And we know Ben Johnson probably wanted to put up 20 plus points before the half. I think that was one thing that maybe he wished happened. But as we mentioned before, I need to see more balance. I need to see you utilize your run game more and the players more. Cal Monunga needs to get involved more. I do want to see more tight end usage as well. I know there were a few errant passes to Cole Kmet that Caleb didn't, you know, get on accurate with him on. But I want to see more Colston Loveland. You spent the first round pick on him. I need to see him be more utilized because of his ability and talent to get out and create space in his run routes. So utilize that more. I do want to see a little bit more Luther Burden. I know you used him once on a pretty banged up play where I think they threw it to him behind the lines and he could get going. But you know, there's certain things that I think you kind of fell out on. You now that you're starting to see what is all encompassed in being a head coach in your first live game, I think you'll start to kind of get what it takes to win for an entire game. But I think there were a few blunders. The challenge that you called, and then of course making sure that Cairo Santos punts that ball out of bounds rather than to the guy that wasted more time. You know, making sure that your players are on the same page. I think that he's done a way better job than our previous coach as far as understanding the moment and the time management. But in a sense, you still have to, you know, brush up on a few details. So Ben Johnson, get better.
Number one for me is obvious. Caleb.
Okay.
Hit the open receiver. Like we can blame Ben for all of that. Like I'm not saying that Ben didn't have you know, some struggles in that game. I think some people are emphasizing some things a little more than others, but some of the footwork, some of the mechanics that has been brought out, you know, from the quarterbacks that are out there who watch the tape on these games, some of the dynamics that we talk about with a everything working and you just missing those 4th down plays where he's going forward on 4th down and that 4th and 3 to DJ, abysmal. Everything was on point. Timing was there. When he was ready to get rid of it was there. The footwork was there. Everything perfect. You just missed. The pass to Cole, same thing. Just missed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you're leading them, but where you threw it looked like you were leading them into the linebacker.
You lead them out of the field. Yeah.
Like there's too many of the just missed moments. And not to say that they don't happen, but like if you clean that up, we might walk out of here with an easier win. Just the accuracy is the biggest thing. If Caleb Williams is accurate, this Bears team is dangerous. And when he was accurate in the first half, this Bears team was dangerous. There were too many times where you had everything set up for you perfect, just like the Bears intended to do for you this year, and you just missed. Let's see if he misses less this week.
Yeah, no, that's a big point. Because you're not going up against a rookie quarterback, or technically a quarterback that played his first game. You're going up against a very good, most times efficient quarterback that can kill you from the very start of the game. So you got to be on your P's and Q's from the start.
Well, listen, he's going up against Aiden Hutchinson, so you got to be on your P's and Q's.
There's that too. Jesus, yeah.
Like if your timing is off, if you're like, I thought the offensive line did a good job for the most part, and Caleb too did a good job keeping the pressure off of them. But like you gotta be on time, you gotta be on target, and you gotta be on task. And we didn't see enough of that, all three at the same time, for the Chicago Bears. We got a couple of super chats before we get up out of here.
Let's do it.
Shout out to you guys for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Shout out to you guys for supporting the channel in that way. Roddy B with the 199 super chat said a positive. DJ was involved. He looked like the number one. He did look more like still one of the number one options for the Chicago Bears. That was good to see. Willie Lampkin's in the building. Willie.
Hey, Willie.
Said Goff is 0-19 when Ben Johnson or Sean McVay is not the play caller. 0-19. Real talk. F. Dan Campbell. This is going to be fuel to fire. The F. Dan Campbell felt out of left field. That felt a little out of left field.
Yeah. Jeez. 0-19 without McVay or
I mean, ooh. I would assume the Lions also were a much worse team when he wasn't there. Although, that does go back to the Rams too. Mm-hmm. He started with the Rams, so we'll see what ends up happening there.
All right.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love as always. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're gonna get up out of here. Of course, we're gonna have more content coming you guys' way. Any news that breaks, we will be on it here at the Windy City Breeze. For Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC.
Clap it up.
It's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again.
Clap it up.
Y'all stay safe out in Chicago. Bear down. One love.
Thanks a lot, Kobe.
Clap it up.
All right. 3 times clap. You don't want to have to clap 3 times.
I was so mad when he did that. Clap it up. You mother. You just shot 6 for 11,000.
Clap it up.
Hey, we got to sign them, though. We got to sign them.
I don't know if we got to. We'll see what happens.